With most Fort students beginning virtual classrooms today, I wanted to give you an encouraging word. With schools canceled, stores closing, and people avoiding gatherings of 10 or more, these truly are challenging times. It's tough to feel normal, especially if you've tried celebrating a birthday or something like that. Speaking of which, did you know that Jesus enjoyed going to parties and having fun just like you and me? In fact, Jesus went to great pains to be as human as the guy down the street. He didn't need to study, but still went to the synagogue. He had no need for income, but still worked as a carpenter. He had known the fellowship of angels and heard the harps of heaven, yet still went to parties thrown by tax collectors. And upon his shoulders rested the challenge of redeeming creation, but he still took the time to walk 90 miles to Jericho, to Cana, to go to a wedding. John chapter 2 says, "There was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and Jesus was invited." In this narrative, we're introduced to a specific problem. Things don't always turn out the way you'd like. Running out of refreshments during your wedding reception is one of those times. However, in the Jewish culture, this would be more than just embarrassing. It was enough to ruin your reputation. You see, in those days, a wedding celebration would go on for 7 full days, a whole week, morning, noon, and night. To offer wine was to show respect to your guests. To not offer wine was an insult. I should also mention that the alcohol content in wine back then was very low compared to today, which meant you could get drunk on it, but it would take a real effort. So, trying to predict the amount of food and wine you would need for a 7-day reception was no small calculation. It's kind of like trying to figure out your snack situation during this quarantine. Well, apparently they miscounted and ran out of wine. So by Jesus turning the water into wine, he was making a statement. He was saying that this reception was important and must go on. But why would the Messiah be concerned with the feelings of 2 individuals who aren't even deemed important enough to be mentioned by name at their own wedding? The answer is because the creator of the universe is intimately concerned with the details of your life. If it's important to you, then it's important to God. I think this quarantine has been so difficult for so many because we were created to connect, to socialize with others. And God also yearns to have a relationship with us. So much so that the God of creation, seeing us struggle in our fallen state, came down from heaven to do for us what we could not do for ourselves. I know that in these times of social distancing, it can feel like God is also distant. But take courage in knowing that the God of creation is intimately concerned with every stage of your life. If it's important to you, it's also important to God. I find it astounding that Jesus, who was constantly active, always traveling, and had a short window of opportunity, only 3 years to accomplish his ministry here on earth, took a whole week to walk to Cana and say, "Hold everything, this is important. This wedding, this reception, this party, this is all good and right and a joy." But in the story, we don't get to hear about the party, the music, the singing, the celebration. Instead, we focus on the problem. Jesus' mother, Mary, knew that he could help. So she told the servants to do whatever Jesus commanded them to. He told the servants to take these jars and fill them with water. So they took 6 big jars and filled them to the very top with water. And when they poured it out into the glasses, it was wine. We also have a tendency to focus on the things we don't have, especially during challenging times like these. But God has already equipped you with everything you need to succeed. The ingredients or elements necessary for any miracle are always within reach. You and I say, "I would do more if I had more." But God says, "I would do more if you give me what you have." God will never ask you to give more than you have. However, he is able to give you more than you can even dare to ask. You can never give more than you have, but God can take whatever you can give him and make it better. Jesus wants to be invited into the details of your life. He is ready to create a miracle in your life with what you have to offer. You don't need anything else. Just give him what you have. Invite Jesus into your situation. Whatever you have, bring it to him today and give it all. Give him your pain, your hurt, your regret, your anger, your fear, your anxieties, and watch and see what Jesus can do with it.